Welcome to Salad with a Side of Fries. I'm your host, Jen Trepic, talking wellness and weight loss for real life. We're here to clear up the myths, misinformation, bad science, and marketing to teach you how to eat and how to cheat. Are you ready? I'm having salad with a side of fries. So this week we're talking about Antifragile. And this comes from Nassim Nicholas Taleb. So he's a professor, a former trader, and hedge fund manager. So he really talks about this in the context of business and infrastructure and systems. But there's also something really interesting when we apply this to individuals and apply this to ourselves. So I think maybe the first step in understanding this is, he says there are really three classifications when we look at this. There's fragile, robust, and anti-fragile. So fragile systems are proportionately harmed by the size of the event. So more harm by a large event than a small event, right? So a car that crashes at 50 miles per hour versus a car that crashes at 1 mile per hour 50 times, right? There's fragility there. Robust means that the system can withstand challenge. Anti-fragile, though, goes beyond robustness. It means something doesn't merely withstand a shock, but actually improves because of it. So he says some things benefit from shocks, right? They thrive and grow when exposed to volatility, randomness, disorder, and stressors, and love adventure, risk, and uncertainty. So in his books, he gives the examples of anti-fragility in terms of airlines, restaurants, and even Silicon Valley with, venture capital and things like that. That all three have become stronger every time something goes wrong. In the human or like the individual context, we can think of it as we get better when we experience the setbacks, right? I often say I'm more concerned about the client who gets to their, goal in air quotes in a straight line versus the one who indulges and experiences challenges, because it's those challenges that allow them to learn to navigate, and it's more likely for the results to be long-term, right? In a more concrete sense, we can think about it in terms of building muscle, right? So when we build muscle, the body needs a stressor, right? We need that resistance. Professor Taleb gave one talk and he said, today you lift 100 pounds. Your brain will remember that you did that and will make you more fit for the future, not to lift 100 pounds, but to lift 105. And he says that extra 5 pounds is what he measures as the anti-fragility. It's our overcompensation. The capacity to do more is anti-fragility. So aiming for resilience isn't enough. Resilience is simply to be okay, to be safe, which to me is like status quo, right? He says you have to aim for risk-taking that benefits you more. Anti-fragile means there's more upside than downside to whatever we're attempting. And I think that really is the case for our health, right? When we take these steps, we experience the setbacks, we go to the event, we indulge and keep going. We're anti-fragile for the things that we've been through. So reading directly from his book, he says, some things benefit from shocks. They thrive and grow when exposed to volatility, randomness, disorder, and stressors, and love adventure, risk, and uncertainty. Yet, in spite of the ubiquity of the phenomenon, there is no word for the exact opposite of fragile. Let us call it anti-fragile. Anti-fragility is beyond resilience or robustness. The resilient resists shocks and stays the same. The anti-fragile gets better. This property is behind everything that has changed with time: evolution, culture, ideas, revolutions, political systems, technological innovation, cultural and economic success, corporate survival, good recipes. Say chicken soup or steak tartare with a drop of cognac. The rise of cities, cultures, legal systems, equatorial forests, bacterial resistance, even our own existence as a species on this planet. We're often at this time reflecting on the past year, right? We're planning for the year ahead. So I say, notice how you are anti-fragile. You're stronger for every experience you've had, right? It's the anti-fragile is the long game. Like our episode this week, right? We talked about, sometimes less efficient in the short term is more effective in the long term. It's not hyper-focusing on a particular failure, in air quotes, but recognizing the consequences of that action and putting a plan or guardrails in place for the future so that the next time it happens differently. So I hope you recognize with this nutrition nugget on Antifragile that you are more than resilient. You are antifragile. And that makes all the difference for you in your health, mentally, physically, emotionally, all the ways as you keep moving forward.
Great advice. Great thought.
Right? We can be antifragile. Well, thanks again for being here, Mom.
Always. It's my pleasure. And happy holidays to everybody.
Happy holidays. As always, everybody, I'm your host, Jen Trepeck. Connect with me on Instagram. Actually, all social media. I'm at Jen Trepeck, JENNTREPECK. But I am going to say, if there's one thing we're noticing about all these social media platforms is that they are fickle and we may not always be there. They may shut down. So please make sure you're on my email list because your email is the only way we're going to be able to stay in touch if we don't have these platforms. So asaladwithaside-of-fries.com is the website. Throw your email in there. I send a newsletter once a month. That's about it. Keep you in the loop and make sure we can stay connected even outside social media. And of course, through the website or any way you want to send a message, that's also the easiest way to learn more about working with me. If you are not already a member, happy holidays to you. Become a member. Make this one of the gifts you give yourself potentially. Right? You'll go to glow.fm/saladwithaside-of-fries. You'll get this week's recipe for the vegan pumpkin pie protein bars and the link to schedule your quarterly live Q&A, which is just you and me. I cannot wait. So until next week, remember, you cannot sprint the marathon. We are in this for your health and for the long haul, which means small steps in the same direction over time lead to huge progress. So you don't need a resolution. You're already on your way. Just keep going. Well, friends, that's it for today's episode of Salad with a Side of Fries. Congratulations for making yourself and your health a priority. Thanks so much for joining us. Be sure to click subscribe or follow on your favorite podcast platform. Share us with a friend, and we'll be back next week. Always remember, you deserve it, and you are worth it. Happy healthy.